Niaje wase, karibuni tena Automobile Cafe to another informative episode. And this episode we are going to talk about basic car maintenance. Now car maintenance by then is very important for actually you to be able to keep your car for long enough to actually enjoy it yourself and probably maybe give it to someone else if you are in perfect condition.
So niaje waku, before tuendelee na hii video, nataka tu kuambia niaje, si ufanya photography na videography services. So in case you need our services, karibu sana, ongea na sisi, namba yetu ya simu ndio hapa kama kawaida, na kwa always on this clips ambazo tunadu. And again, offers zetu za photography for outdoors inaanza from as low as the offer you see above. Events, videos, ongea na sisi, we can give you a quote, and for sure tutafanya event yako ama videography yako ikue top notch na iweze ku make sense ama ku communicate kenye unataka.
Wakati wa reselling unakuwa na easy time kuuzia mtu gari yako. So first of all we'll talk about basic car maintenance, the basic elements of car maintenance, alafu tuende tukiongelea more and more. So first of all, when you're maintaining your car, or basically when you're doing your scheduled service, the first thing you need to take care of is something called an air filter. In basic terms, air filter ni kama mapua yako. Air filter ni kama mapua yako. So for the car to be able to have to utilize to emit good powers or good horses or good numbers when it comes to power, it needs to breathe well. So if you buying air filters, you need to make sure that you have the genuine air filters that will not clog your system but aid your breathing system of the car work efficiently. Na kutoka hapo kuna kitu inaitangwa plugs, or basically spark plugs. So spark plugs zinakuwa ndio the igniting factor ya gari. Wakati piston inagonganga plug inatoa moto inapower gari. So when you buying your plugs, you really need to pay much in terms of concentration to make sure that you're getting the right plugs for your vehicle. And again, hapa kwa plugs, filter kuna vile kidogo once in a while unaweza fanya ukora when it comes to air filter. But plugs inakuanga very tricky. This is actually something that one really needs to pay a lot of attention to make sure that the car has the best spark plugs that will power or aid the car get good power from the engine. Now spark plugs, if you get fake spark plugs, what usually messes when you get fake spark plugs, kitu ya kwanza utagundua either gari itakuwa ina run rich. The car can decide to run rich because hiyo sio plugs zenye ziko intended for the car, or basically those plugs are not burning as they're supposed to intend. They're intended to burn for that engine. So the car might decide to run rich, and at times the car might actually not power, or maybe have difficult times when it comes to issues conquering hill climbs and basically doing rough terrains. So whenever you're servicing your car, make sure that you use the manufacturer specified plugs, and make sure these plugs are good. Plugs can be in 2 or 3 variants depending on the size of your pocket. So you can have basic plugs, you can have medium plugs in terms of cost, and also high-end plugs. But again, with the right plugs for your vehicle as the manufacturer has intended, ama the manufacturer recommends, then for sure you'll get very nice performance sparks out of the car. So the other thing you also need to make sure that you do when you're servicing your car, we've talked about the air filter, the spark plugs. So let's talk about the oil filter. The oil filter. Why is the oil filter efficient? Why is the oil filter important when it comes to changing it? The oil filter is very important because the oil filter usually filters the oil that is used in the car to make sure there is no contaminants in the oil while the car is driving. So kawaida filter ni kama tu, let me call it basic language ndio kila mtu aelewe, ni kama sieve. Unaelewa? Ni kama sieve. So ikiona hapa kwa hiyo oil kuna shida, inabaki na hizo uchafu ama components zenye hazitakikani kwa hiyo oil, ndio gari iweze kudrive. Remember, as much as we've changed the air filter, At times unaweza peleka gari off road, and sometimes gari upumua hiyo hewa yenye iko na vumbi, na vumbi sometimes iko na particles zinaingia kwa oil. Zikiingia kwa oil, the filter takes care of those particles. So why is it important to change the oil filter? It's good to make sure that when you're putting in new oil, the filter is new as well, so that it can perform effectively or efficiently for the car. Apart from that, the other thing we need to talk, so tumeongelea plugs, tumeongelea air filter, oil filter. The other thing is the oil itself. What are the functions of the oil? What are the functions of the oil when it comes to car functionality? First of all, the oil is used to make sure the car is lubricated. You see that engine you have there, no matter the size, without oil, it can be running rough. And in a way, that will make sure the engine breaks as fast as possible, actually faster than you think. Some of your cars, sana wala watu wa team Germany nini, actually hiyo gari bila oil, ama ikiwa na oil mbaya, within a very short drive, hiyo gari itakuwa imesimama na pale kidogo umetupa engine. So you need to make sure that you have the oil, ama change your oil, because apart from all this, the oil again, it will first of all lubricate your car, it will cool the car. Gari huwa haikuliwi na coolant peke yake, hapana. Oil also plays a role. The oil is used to cool the engine. Oil, the moment you put oil in your engine, it does not settle down and relax. Actually, when you ignite your car, the oil starts running around the engine and making sure that the engine is cool for it to effectively work. If your engine oil is not as good, again, fuel consumption becomes a problem. Now it starts compromising the cooling by adding other factors within the car. So what you need to do is make sure that you have the right oil, and or make sure your oil is changed to meet the manufacturer specifications. But again, hapa kwa oil, hapa hii Kenya yetu tuko na shida sana, because when it comes to oil in Kenya, you really need to be sure that the oil you have is genuine or legit. How can you get genuine oil? I have no brand that I'm pushing, but basically you just need to make sure where you buy your oil is somewhere reputable, somewhere where in case of a problem you can take that car back and they take the liability, or basically make sure they sort you out. So when you're buying oil, usiende ku vichorochoro, ama don't look at it for cheap oils and stuff. Just make sure the oil is as set by the manufacturer. This again varies. Kama ni oil ya gearbox, buy legit ETF gearbox oil. Kama ni ya engine, buy legit. Some of these cars are good to an extent that they've even actually produced oil that are specified for those cars in terms of maintenance. If possible, buy that. Those are the very basic things that you need to do when you're servicing your car. Apart from that, there's more we can talk about. I am sure I've not missed out on the basic things, but what you can do if you're trying to make sure that you're just servicing your car within that minor type of service, it's good to also check your brake pads, both front and the rear. If your car has a lining at the rear, make sure the lining is checked and maintained, because again, if you do your service well, your car will perform better. So if your brakes are bad, then you won't be able to stop. So as you are servicing your car, always ensure that you check your brake pads or linings depending on the car you're using. So asanteni sana for this short episode. I will do a detailed content for this type of servicing, or basically way to taking off. There are so many things you can service within a car. We can go ahead and talk about gearbox servicing. You can go ahead and talk about those changing those pads and stuff. We can talk about fuel filter changing. Actually some of these cars come with fuel filters, and it's important to change them as well. But again, for fuel filters, this is something you can do after a very long time. So mambo ni mingi, but for now, let me not choke you with information. So that is enough for today. Asanteni sana. Endeleni ku like, share, subscribe and enjoy. Ciao.